Okay, this represents what my wife drank every single day, every day, 7 days a week. This is a half-gallon bottle, okay, or better known as a 1.75 liter bottle if you're outside the United States. And if you add this up, this is 3.5 gallons of wine a week, 15 gallons of wine a month. If you do the math, it's 180 gallons of wine a year. 180 gallons of wine. And sometimes you wonder, how did she even make it to 58? Because you tack on prescription medications that come later in life. You tack on other alcohol because eventually you get a hold of anything that you can. But 180 gallons of wine was filtered through her system, through her body, through her esophagus, her intestinal tract, her liver, her pancreas, her kidneys, and her brain. This is what happens with this disease. And people think it's a choice. Do you think anybody would have a choice to consume this on a daily basis, regardless of how it affects themselves physically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, and how it affects all their relationships? That's the kind of volume. Consistency is going to destroy everything in your life. Understanding that. Let's break this down a little bit further. And this video is really about putting everything into perspective, because so many times I get comments of, well, I only drink like 8 or 10 beers a night. That's not a big deal. Or they ask me if they think that's a problem. Well, let's break it down. Okay, say if you're drinking 10 beers a night, because if you're saying you're drinking 8, you're probably drinking 12 in reality, but let's go with 10. So that's 70 beers. That's 280 a month, or 280 to 310 beers a month. That's an obscene amount of alcohol. I mean, that's life-threatening. And that's just beer. That's a low volume of alcohol content. Wine, on the other hand, like my wife was drinking, is 11-12%. And if you're mixing that with, spirits or something heavier, well, then that's that much more alcohol in your body. And that kind of caustic regularity will break down all your organs. So you have to realize your liver specifically, if you're continually filtering, has to do all this work, it's going to break down the liver. It's going to break down your brain, because if you're filling your stomach and your body with this much volume of alcohol on a regular basis, your diet is going to be atrocious. In fact, you're not going to have a diet because you're more interested in the buzz that you're getting from the alcohol. So your nutrition is going to be atrocious. Not to mention the calories that are connected to this are outrageous. My wife, she got to the point where she was morbidly obese because of the alcohol, and then ended up having to have a gastric bypass surgery, which they weren't able to do it because her body wasn't able to handle it. So they did a gastric sleeve bypass, which is where they just kind of cut the stomach in about half. So they reshape the stomach, they make it smaller. And unfortunately, if you continue to drink like this and you've had some kind of bariatric surgery, well, the volume, the effect on your body goes up about 400%. Okay, so the absorption rate goes up a lot more, and then your tolerance goes through the roof, and then you become a serious alcoholic. It's going to affect every aspect of your body. I mean, if you don't understand this, okay, and put it in perspective like this, you got to break it down. And then let's talk about how it affects relationships. I mean, if you're consuming this much volume, your only relationship is with the alcohol itself, because you're inebriated all the time, or you're either trying to get the alcohol, you're looking for it, you're consuming it, or you're recovering from it. So there's no really room for a relationship in there. There's no room for a spouse. There's no room for children or parents or friends, not to any real depth, because you're inebriated all the time. And unfortunately, that's going to take away from every aspect of your life. Because then the people around you, the family, there's only so much they're going to put up with. You can't be around someone who's inebriated all the time. It's not a sustainable situation. It's not a sustainable relationship, and it will break down, as it will break down your, every aspect of your life. So what's equally as important to understand is that if you're creating any kind of consistent alcohol intake on a regular basis, even if you're drinking maybe even a couple of drinks a day, that can turn into 4, that can turn into 6. You're creating the ground floor of a later stage alcoholic. Consistency is what creates the entire problem. What are you covering up? What's the core issue? Why are you drinking at all is what you really need to look at. And you need to look at that before it becomes this outrageous habit like my wife had, unfortunately. And I use her as an example. None of it is to disparage her. That's not what this is about. This is about dissecting a life, okay? Understanding that life. And learning from it and growing from it and evolving from it. We can only help the living. And for those people that have a problem with me talking about my wife, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. I'm here to help people. And I hope somebody can break down my life when I'm gone and dissect it to help people and use it as an inspiration. I'm using my wife as an inspiration to save families and to save other people who are going through the same type of situation and experience. And again, real quick, her memoir is called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. Again, it's on Amazon. You can also get it right in my link tree right above. You can go right to my website. The PayPal button's right there. I go live Monday through Friday, right around 6:30, 9:30 East Coast. We also have the Facebook group. It's called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. Again, the link is in the link tree in my bio. When you're ready to work with me, I have a complete coaching program. Set up a breakthrough call. It takes about 45 minutes. I'm looking for people who are ready to change their lives and the lives of their family. Now, the call is free. The course is definitely not. But I want to, I will change your life and set you on a path and give you a blueprint for the rest of your life. And again, thanks so much for listening.